Show on the road. Stream number 56. GUI refinements. That's right, we have a GUI. We have a GUI now, and it's very GUI. Isn't this cool? There's actually a noticeable delay, and I'm going to click on that, and I click back to that. Why is there a long delay? Oh, I think I remember why. Because we're still printing stuff. What are we printing stuff for again? The message. Okay. Hey there, Nightshade dude. Good evening. I must have left in a printf. We're not searching and replacing. We're looking for printf. No matches. Why? Oh, because I haven't built it. Duh. Because that's in the middle of something. That's right. Nice noises. What noises? You're welcome. This is what I was in the middle of this morning. A print noise, yeah. So, the premise of the change I'm in the middle of right now is that you might be looking at, where is it? This hierarchy. And you can see like one and graphic control block, graphic control extension. Like they don't have a value. And like they only have one child. Actually, this is not true. This is not true, but was it number 0 did? Right, so 0, special purpose block, application extension, all the way down. These two levels only have one child, so the idea would be to combine these, and it would be 0, special purpose block, application extension. And then these would be outdented 2 levels. So I was in the middle of making that change here. So the idea is that when we're filling in this data recursively here, if you get to a level and we find that it's only structural, that we collapse the name with the name of the next level down, and we move one level down. So problem is that right now this name isn't being used. Instead, we're picking the name out of row data, which comes from the input, and we're putting that name there. Also, I haven't written data only structural yet, but I kind of want to fix the name problem first. So the trick would be, I think, let me think about this. Let me think. Wouldn't we want to start with that, not string new? Only if it is something. If it's not, we're not adding a row. And I don't need a name. So why don't I just move this into here? I don't know where token should go. Where's token used? Oh, token's used down here. It's also used over here. Let me get this straight. It was like this to begin with. Okay, so the default is none. And this needs to move out of here. Okay. So then what I think I would do is I would make this mutable and delete that. And I think this is what I want. Now I just need data only structural. Function. Actually, not here, but completely outside. This is a free function, right? It's free. So it's just given a data which is one of these guys. In fact, it's cloned, so we need to borrow it. Data. And this is supposed to return a bunch of stuff, right? It's supposed to return this stuff. A name fragment and a child. Yes. Name fragment and a child, which is another one of these. That would be from inside of this borrowed reference, so really we can't do that. Let's just make it owned. To do. Borrow dat. Okay, this, they probably want me to change it to like not empty. Okay. Won't it always be not empty? It'll always have a name from the level up. So why don't I just always do this? Okay, and then now we got to implement this. So definition of only structural means it has no value. It only has one child or iteration. And that's it. So it has to have no value. So first we're going to borrow it. Then we're going to say if data.value. I ran into this morning, like it doesn't know that there's a method called value. And I don't know why. And this is behind a bar, right? So I have to say is. Maybe I got this wrong. What is that? Shared data value. Oh, that it is equal to ingestion data value nil. If that is true, return none. I have to get the types right though. If maybe missing an else. To do. Ref and value. So dereference? Yes. Okay. That's condition one. If it's not nil, it's not only structural. The other condition is if either, so if the sum of its keyed children and iterations is 1. So if it's not equal to 1, also return none. If we get to here, then it is, if we get on here, if we get here, then it's only structural, and then I need to return the name from the solo child. So that would be if let some child equal data.key children dot get first. I guess it would, there's only one of them. Iter. next, unwrap. Well, next. So then we get, okay, we get two things. We get the name and the child. So that's child name, well, name and child. Then it is sum name dot, this needs to be put there, clone and child clone. Clone that child reference. Else, then it has to be data.iterations iter next unwrap just 0, right? So sum, this is sort of an unusual case. It has a single iteration, so it's just 0 to string. This clone. RC found enum option. Do I have to unwrap twice? Yes. Oh, shoot. What if it is a none, like an empty slot? This should be like with the filter. Yeah, we should filter. So iter filter predicate is iteration, and its iteration is sum. Is count for if it's an iteration. Okay, so then what I want to do here is iter find this same predicate. Unwrap. I guess it's find map, right? It would be iteration. It would just be iteration. Iteration. And then one single level of unwrap. I gotta clone this, right? What do I need to do here? Expected option found, so it's as ref. Or yeah, I think that's right. Okay, let's test it. Still running. Quit it. Cargo run GUI. So I won't be able to stream tomorrow because I have a super early meeting. And then when I get back from work, I have World of Warcraft. So it's looking more and more like I won't be streaming again until 36 hours from now, like Friday morning. Okay, well, that didn't really work out, did it? This part worked out. Look at that. But the trailer didn't really work out. Oh, we didn't replace the value with the correct value. That's why. Okay. Find call hierarchy. when we get that child data, I need to override value with the child's with the data's value. So mute value. Well, hold on. Why are we getting a value out of set child data? Because given, oh wait, it's never mind. Yeah. Given a data, don't we know the value of that? Hold on. How's child data this value? Oh, value to display for data. Yeah, why are we calling this before calling set child data? Show call hierarchy. Right, that's none. Yeah, there's no reason for me to put the value into here, so let's remove that value. And then we don't put the value in there. This just moves to here. And this becomes data. And there's no value here anymore. We have a warning somewhere. Where be the warning? Oh, yeah, I know that one. Yeah, we're not. I need to evaluate if this function is to be kept or not. Hey, there's standard robot. Are you really a standard robot or are you an exceptional robot? That's what I want to know. Cool. So the value is preserved. And if I scroll to the bottom, it should label. Yes. So that's the trailer label. So that is because trailer only has one part in it. Label. So we're doing what we intended. So now logical screen. Global color table. So these are, none of these are shortened. This is shortened, aspect ratio encoding 0. Yep, that's what we want. This one is, see how this one's collapsed and this one's not? This one's not collapsed because the value is different for color resolution than its encoding. So even though it has one child, it has its own value, so it needs its own row. Right, so now this is cool because we can see at a glance that these are all graphic control blocks and this is an application extension, and we don't have those extra levels. So I'm really glad that it was someone in chat this morning recommended that we collapse the structural only nodes. Because with a structural only node, it'll have the same origin. These other levels have their own origins, so we don't need data tree rows for them. Right, data subblock size. There's 2 of them. Just a standard robot right now. Is it during the day you're a supercharged robot, and then at the end of the day, when you're kind of losing energy, you're more like a standard robot? That's what I feel like. During the day, I was like supercharged, and then I slowly ran out of steam. I'm looking for bugs, and I don't see any. I'm really happy with the way this looks. There's that display glitch that I have yet to address. Is that size we don't need, right? That size should be a local. Global color table. Yeah, that should be local, right? Color table. Yeah, so we put a minus sign in front of that. Makes it local. Oh, I was thinking about this in the car. So I think I want to have like a reload, so I don't have to like quit and then run again whenever I change the format. So that was in the color table, right? So that would be in logical screen. Yeah, so now that size is not there anymore. So we still have a size here, 256. And that value is passed over to here, but now we don't see it. You know what would be useful is to know how many elements something has without opening it up like that. What if like if something does have iterations, we should put that for value and we'll put it like in bracket. Like it'll say like square bracket 256. I think that would be useful. So that's in one place, right? It was called extract value. Value to display for data, right? Here we go. So it would be if it's nil, if data dot iterations is empty, then empty, then no value string, right? Else, format data.iterations.length. Let's see what that looks like. Well, I hope you all are having a great evening and or morning or middle of the day or middle of the night. Oh, look at that. That's exactly what I want. So now we know that there are 61 data blocks. Logical screen, global color table. We know that there are 256 values for each of these. I like it. Yeah, there are two data subblocks. Image data, there are 64 data subblocks. Well, size, we only have size fields right now. Okay, next thing I think I want to do is see how when I click here, it shows it on in the hex editor. But if I click like down here, we don't see it anymore. I think I would like it where if I click it and it's not visible in the hex editor, that the hex editor automatically scrolls to until it's visible. I think that would be cool. But I don't know how to control the scroll position other than as a user in the user interface. I don't know if there's a programmatic way. So we'd want to like, let's say it was above here. When we scroll to, it should like scroll to maybe around here. So like that it's like, we know that we scrolled down to find it. If we were below here and we pressed there, it should put it around here to indicate that, yeah, it was up. So it had to scroll up to find it. So it should be kind of like automating the process of like of what we would do when you click here and then we're like, where is it? Where is it? Oh, there it is. Stop. I think that's what I want to do. So I have to figure out how to control the scrolling. And in addition to that, I think we want there to be a control on the hex editor that in addition to saying like add highlight, we should like have a scroll to. And it'll have the same thing here, like start end. Because depending on which direction we're going to go, we're either going to go until the start shows up on the screen or the end. So yeah, let's put it right here. Pub function scroll to overflow auto. That's a CSS directive. We're not doing CSS. This, my friend, is eGUI. It is, hold on, and get this to work. It is an immediate mode GUI library for Rust. So I made Gaude and Space Cadet Commander. Those are excellent hints for CSS, but this is not CSS. Scroll to mute self, start, end. To do. In case we accidentally go there, we'll remember that we didn't finish writing that. I know some CSS when you see it, and that's not it. Yeah, this is not CSS. I'll show you how it's actually drawn. It's drawn with this thing. So it's a UI context from eGUI. And it's really funky. So what you have to do is tell it you want to allocate some size, and it gives you two things back, which really threw me for a loop at first. It tells you what size the layout actually gave you, and usually it's what you requested, but it could be different. And the second thing is like feedback on what user interactions might affect that rectangle. And it's filtered by what you give here. So if you say sense hover, you're basically saying, I'm interested in knowing if the cursor is on top of the rectangle you give me, but I don't care if the user is clicking or dragging or any of that stuff. So other kinds of senses are focusable, non-interactive, click, drag, click and drag, and they're really just setting different combinations of these three flags. Yeah, that kind of directs what kind of things we want to do with this response. So it's kind of like a two-way street. You say you want to allocate an area, and it gives you back a rectangle, and then an object which you then query to say, well, is anyone clicking in that region right now? It is kind of neat, but it took me some getting used to, and that's why I'm repeating and explaining it for your benefit and mine. The more I repeat it, the more likely I am to remember it. Okay, so this scroll to is what we want to call from the app, or no, from the info overlay when something is selected. Select bitstream region, here we go. So right now we add a highlight. So I think after setting the highlight, we should then go tell the hex editor to scroll to start end. There we go. And now got to do something. So I need to figure out how do we access that silly scroll bar? So I imagine what we would do is two things. One is we have to figure out some way to force the UI to repaint itself. Actually, we might not need to do it, because if we're doing this in response to clicking, it might sort of be automatic. So once it repaints itself, then during the repainting, we'll be able to hopefully tell the vertical scroll region where we want to scroll to. Hopefully there's a way to do that. But because this is called before the repaint happens, we have to take these and stash them somewhere. So I think what I'll do is I'll just store this scroll to, instead of calling it, it's really equals sum. And now we'll just add this. Hex editor. So scroll to option usize. And it will be initialized to none. And where we're going to use it is where we're actually making the scroll bar, which is right here. So I think looking at the documentation for scroll area probably is the thing to do right now. Scroll area. What can we do with the scroll area? You can scroll to an element using scroll to me, scroll to cursor, and scroll to rect. Okay, great. Let's scroll to rect. Adjust the scroll position of any parent scroll area so that the given rect becomes visible. Perfect. So we just need to calculate what is the rectangle for the area, which I could probably steal from the highlight code, right? And then just call scroll to rect for that. And that's a method of the UI. And it said I can do that when you can scroll to an element. So it's like inside of the show, you can do that, right? So in here somewhere, just put it here, right? We'll say if let some start and end equals self dot scroll to dot take. To do's. Okay, that compiles. So I'm getting into the habit more and more of putting in to do after I write a little bit of Rust code, just to see if I've already made a mistake, because we don't get hints from Rust Analyzer until we hit save. And if I were to continue writing without hitting save, I might put more and more errors in, and it might make it harder to fix. So we want to catch errors early and often. So that's why I wrote a little bit of code and then save, and then, okay, no errors, then we can continue. So the code that draws highlights calculates positions. Let me see how that works. Where do we draw highlights? Row or insert. It's inside draw highlight. Draw highlight part. Offset to point. That's how we do it, right? So if I have the canvas offset and we have the start and end UI, and whether it's the hex, okay, this is what I want. I want to calculate two corners, right? So I want to go back. Let top equal self offset to point start. So we need the canvas offset, which means like I need to do this earlier. So maybe what I do is I move this whole thing after here, right? So this is true. Okay, and then we need to do the same thing for bottom. Offset end. Then we get two positions, right? So really, I only need the vertical coordinate of them. So then it said I can just do UI.scroll to, right? Rect. So I need a rectangle from, I need to import this. Yes, I do. From min-max, right? We'll figure out that in a second. What's this align? I don't know. Left, top. I'm not sure what the align is used for. Optional alignment. If align is none, it'll scroll enough to bring the cursor into view. Okay, so let's just do none. Hello, Freddy Gamer 666. No, is not JavaScript, is Rust. So what this is the tool I'm working on. I have been programming since 1980, but a lot of it's self-taught, and long swaths of that I didn't really learn. I was just doing it for work. So yeah, this user interface is written using eGUI, which is a GUI library for Rust. And what the tool does is you drop in a data file. So this is a GIF file, right? And then you tell it how to parse that. So it's a custom language that I have a compiler for. I don't really have a name for the language. I guess we just call it the DataDisintegrator language, but it's like a format specification. We say this is how to parse a GIF. You have a header at the front of the file and a trailer at the end. In the middle, you have data blocks and you have a logical screen. So now that I have a UI, I can kind of illustrate that. So here's the header part. There's a signature and a version. And the way we specified it is we said the header has a signature and a version. They're both 24 bits long and they are of type string. So they are indeed strings. And it basically parses every single byte of the file. So this is the logical screen. This is a data block, which is looks like it's a application extension, and then here's a graphic control block. So these graphic control blocks are all images. So this GIF has 61 frames. You might be able to guess, since it's called lull, what it is. It's this guy. 61 frames, each frame shown for 3/100ths of a second. So each one of these is a static image, right? And the very, very, very bottom, oh, it's cut off. Well, that's sad. Am I not calculating the height correctly? I think I need to add some margin to this, right? Anyway. Yeah, the very last byte is the trailer byte, which is a 59 or a 3B hex. So yeah, if I were to like go from the bottom up, that's image 60. There's no page up with this scroll bar thing, is there? So, and then that's 59, see 59, 60, right? All the way up to 1 and 0. So I'm working on a part right now that'll do the scrolling automatically. See, it's not scrolling. If I click on 2 or if I click on header, it doesn't scroll up automatically to show me the header. That's what I'm working on. You ran into what problem many times? I took too long to read your chat, and now I don't know what the context is. I'll cut off the text in the scroll panel. Yeah, I wonder why. How did that get cut off? How do you suppose I messed that up? I guess it's not accounting for the space taken up by the header or something. Expect some of the items. It should be like as it's laying it out, coming up with a number, and then using it the next time it's drawn. So yeah, I don't know. Well, that'll be a thing that we investigate. Let me fix this first, right? So scrolling to rect. So I need a minimum rectangle and a maximum rectangle. So a position, right? This takes 2 positions. So we'll form 1 position, 2. The X will be a canvas offset, X, and Y will be top, because this takes the canvas offset into account, right? Yeah, it takes it into account. It actually gives me a Y, but maybe, or it gives me, it does give me an X actually, doesn't it? The Y has the vertical offset into account? Yes, it does. So I could actually use both of these then. I could just say top and bottom here, right? And not use just the Y. Top, bottom. Let's give that a try. Yeah, it should expect all the items, so I don't know why. Okay, header, logical screen, data block 0. Oh, it's scrolling. Look at that. It's scrolling. Go back up to header. Go down to the cutoff trailer. What would be even better is if it actually scrolled all the way. So when I click there, it's like almost there, and I have to scroll a little bit more to see it. I suppose if we knew that we were above it, we could scroll past it or something. This might be good enough, right? I think this is good enough. Because if it doesn't get it exactly right, then I can just scroll, right? I can like scroll up and then, oh, hey, look at that. Cool. Should we just consider that one done? Okay, then the next thing is going in the opposite direction. I'd like it to be if we click on a byte, it tells us what it means over here. So we do get a callback for that. I don't think am I printing anything for it? Not printing anything. We do get a callback, we're just not doing anything for that callback. What I want to do is I wanted to like drill down into this data structure and like find the innermost node that contains the byte you clicked on and highlight it here. So that means we're going to go from the root, we're going to descend and say, is the byte in there? No. Is it in here? Yes. Okay, so I mentioned that I clicked on this semicolon right there, right? So then say, well, did you click in there? No. Did you click in here? Yes. Did you click in any of these spots? And it would just find the one where we actually clicked on. So it's past 86 red and before 87 red. So it's probably 86 blue. No, it's 86 green. Or 87 green. 86 green. So it would go to that if I clicked on that semicolon, right? It would go and we'd be like, oh, I see, we're in logical screen, global color table, green number 86. See there, oh no, it's still cutting it off a little bit. Just a tiny bit. Okay, maybe, yeah, before I go on, before I forget again, maybe I should try to investigate why it's cut off and maybe add fudge factor to it, or maybe just round up. I'm probably off by one row. That's what it is. I'm probably going to the nearest row, not counting the last row. So then, if that's true, it would be in the data tree. Somewhere here where we ask for an explicit amount of space. Draw, right, in draw. Right, allocate size vertical. Yeah, it's this canvas, this last canvas height. That's what it is. Initialize it to 0. Here's where we set it. Okay. Well, that should work. No, it won't work. It'll be off by one. I need to add one to this. So add one. It's off by one. Because if row number was 0, it would be like allocating 0 space. Okay, yeah, so there's a parse room for a row here because we rounded this position up to the nearest row, I guess. I don't know. It actually, I wonder if it's, I wonder. Is it because we're like not supposed to take into account the, or maybe I'm supposed to take into account the, any offset I might have added at the very beginning? I shouldn't have added any though. Maybe want the bottom aligned to the scroll bar bottom. Yeah, and it's not. See how it's kind of off? That's why I'm wondering, why is it off by a little bit? Why is it off by a little bit? Also, when I click on the trailer, why is it off by one row? I might be off by one on the scroll to also. I feel like if we're scrolling down, it's off by a row. So it's like we're getting a position that's one row too high. Yeah, well, you can tell I'm a nitpicky person, right? Perfectionist. Scroll to, this is in the hex editor. Scroll to. I think the thing is it's picking the top left point. So the top left point, let's compact it a little bit. And top and bottom might pass each other when I do this. So what if I just do from two positions? And so it'll like just put them in the correct like order. And what I can do to this is just the top we can subtract, no, add to it. Yeah, add. I don't need to add anything to it horizontally, but what I want to do is add a row height. And then subtract a row height from the bottom one. Can we not add positions to each other? Do we have to use vectors? Yes, apparently I have to add subtract vectors. Must be pixel perfect. That is correct. It must be pixel perfect. Okay, so now when I click, okay, it's almost there. It's like a half row off. What if I just multiply by 2? 0.0. Actually, I think that won't really work. No, it does work. Never mind. Hey, look, it works. Except here it scrolled to like it cut it off here. I think maybe what I need to do is find the go the other way. Subtract here and add to this one. Sort of widen the rectangle, so to speak. And it'll, yeah, I think it's just to make it more aggressively. Yeah, there we go. So if I go up, yeah, see now it made it so we can see that last byte. And if we go scroll down, we can see that first byte. Yeah, see now it's giving me some margin between, unless it's at the extreme end, and even then it's going as far as it can. Okay, that's great. Okay, solve that problem. Now this problem where it's not quite aligned right. That extra space, where is it coming from, right? Oh, you know what it might be? It might be because of the snapping I did. See how I have it snap the position? Oh, you know what it is? This window is not an integer number of rows tall. If I made it so, like right there, now it will be aligned. Yep, that's what it is. So it's if the window is a little bit taller, it's that, oh, that's that overflow. So in order to like prevent that, I think when I request size for this, I have to round down to the nearest row height. Where do we request that size? Pretty close, like it would be right before the vertical. There it is. Um, it's this rectangle, right? So what I should do is I should take that and I should round down to the nearest multiple of row height. So available size. So what would I put here? Requested size. And requested size dot y equals requested size dot y. Actually, wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be easiest to subtract its mod of row height? Wouldn't that be the best way to do it? So it rounds down now. Did I do it? It's adding an extra, see, at the very extreme, it's like 1 pixel off. So what if I ask for 1 pixel less? Plus 1.0. So 1 pixel less. No, actually, I should ask for 1 pixel more. So, yeah, because this is the wrong direction, right? Yeah. So exactly 1 pixel more. Unless it's the virtual area that I had to, nope, that was it. So now if I like resize the window ever so slightly, it just truncates it down to the next multiple of a row. Cool. It's pixel perfect. It's pretty close. So we grow it until it can fit another row, and boom, it moves down. Boom, it moves down. See that? Beautiful. Yes. Oh, should I work on the smearing up there? It's easier to see if I do Magnus. Where did Magnus go? Magnus, I killed Magnus. Okay, move Magnus to this window. And then go there. Okay, Magnus, right? See that? It's not exactly 1 pixel and it's smeared. Right? So that the whole rectangle boundary of the header is smeared. I got pixel perfection on the pluses and minuses and especially the dots because that really annoyed me that it wasn't pixel perfect. Also, it looks like these are smeared somewhat. So it's what it is the calculation of where to actually put that text is like not put directly in the middle of a pixel. The corner needs to be put directly in the middle of a pixel, I think. Why did Magnus disappear? It must have thought I clicked. So yeah, let me work on the header row stuff first. Can minimize Magnus and then header row. That's this stuff. Where's the rectangles? Here it is. So it's this top left, bottom right calculation, right? You know what I'd like to do is just have a helper function do this for me. Pixel align pixel. Pixel align. And pixel align, right? So we'll just have a free function do this weird calculation. So we get a position in, and we're going to get a position out. Okay, so can we just mutate it? I think this is what I'd rather do. Pick position X equals round position X plus 0.5. Or should I do the ceiling? I want to move it to the center that it's closest to. Or is that, do I want to add 0.5 round and then subtract 0.5? So if it's 0, it'll be correct. If it's 0.5, it might round up to 1 and then add, it might move it a pixel over. So I think I want to subtract 0.5, round it, and then add 0.5, right? On the way it works in Rust is you have to do that dot round. And do the same thing for Y. Is that right? So if it's 0, negative 0.5 round, it'll go up to back to 0 again, and then it'll go to the middle between 0 and 1, right? If it's anything left of 0, it'll go down to the previous pixel. Yeah, I think this is correct. All right, let's see if I got it right. If this isn't right, then it might be that the coordinate system is all shifted because of the canvas offset. I just can't remember. Nope, it looks good to me. Look at that. Pixel perfection. Okay, so I think I want to do the same thing for the text here because you can see the text is smeared. So I would like pixel perfection for all the text we draw here, including, I guess, the labels in there, if those aren't already using pixel perfect math. No references, we just go up here. Here we go. Yeah, so we're recalculating a position here. So what if I just do pixel align for that? Okay. And then we're doing all this drawing. Okay, we don't need this anymore. We took care of that cursor stuff. Look at all this lovely, ugly code. Remove token from visitor arguments if not needed. We ended up using it, right? Yes. So keep it. What rectangle are we drawing here? Oh, that's the box around the plus or the minus. These are the dotted lines. Okay, see this round minus and then round plus 5? That's the pixel alignment. So if I should be able to replace this, right?